Hi, and thank you for joining me for another short lecture. And friends, today I want to quickly analyze a pasuk in Parshat Vayechi, Perek Mem Tet Pasuk Yud, or Genesis 49, verse 10. And why do I want to analyze this pasuk, or why is this pasuk any more relevant to us than, let's say, any other pasuk in Torah? Well, friends, the answer to this question is really because no other pasuk or no other verse has been used to justify more new movements or offshoots from Judaism than this one. And after this one, I guess it would be the pasuk in Parashat Yitro, or Deuteronomy 18 of Navi Midkedbecha Mechecha Kamoni. And friends, the reason this pasuk, or this verse in Parashat Vayechi, has been so heavily tampered with is mainly because of three, or I guess four words, right? Ad ki yavo Shiloh, that can and have been translated ambiguously, very ambiguously throughout the years, at least the last portion of that statement. However, the problem is not that Jews never understood the plain meaning of the pasuk, but rather because it mentions scepter and it mentions Yehudah, two notions that later in Jewish history became synonymous with redemption and the figure who has come to be known as the Messiah. This is why commentators even bothered to expound, and by expounding, created messianic fervor, not just for the Jewish people, but a messianic fervor that, like we'll later explain, reached the Christian and even the Islamic world. Because, as you know, mystical or even eschatological interpretations for this pasuk did not begin with Islam or Christianity, two groups that, because of, like we said, this Jewish messianic expectation, especially to this pasuk, have adopted this pasuk to endorse their rival of Jesus or Muhammad. In other words, they're saying that this pasuk justifies their claim that Jesus is the man or that Muhammad is the man. But even many, many Jewish rabbis understood this to be talking about the Messiah. Even Onkelos held like this. But of course, many, many other rabbis taught how I'm going to teach in this video. But anyways, the problem is, like with almost any commentary to Torah, that the commentator begins with an assumption or an expectation and then uses the text, the Torah text before him, to accommodate those expectations. In other words, claiming that their understanding of a concept predates even its source, whether it's claiming that the patriarchs kept full halakha before it was even developed, or claiming that pesukim are there to justify what has not been created yet, all while claiming that all this in some way would have been known even to the Hebrews back then. In other words, saying that the Hebrews back then would have known and agreed with everything the Meforshim wrote, even when the Meforshim, the commentators, even contradict themselves almost all the time. And friends, one thing you must remember when understanding Torah, or when learning Torah, my friends, is that Peshat is king. In other words, the literal understanding of the Torah is what God is trying to relate to us. And this, my friends, is not some sort of Christian or Islamic concept. The Gemara itself states in Masechet Pesachim, Ein mikra yotzei midei peshuto, that a verse does not depart from its literal meaning. And if you're wondering about this supposed new method of biblical interpretation known as Pardes, know that this was also only invented post the 13th century of the Common Era by Kabbalists in order to insert later silly Kabbalistic ideas into Torah. Now, the concept of Pardes, the story of Acher, does appear in the Gemara, but not having anything to do with levels of Torah interpretation, as they call Peshat, Drash, Remez, and Sod. Now, we have no problem, my friends, with the notion of Peshat and Drash, right? I mean, this is the literal understanding, contextually understood. However, the problem we do, or what we actually have a problem with, is the notion of Remez and Sod, the notion of hints and secrets, and in some way something could be extrapolated from the Torah that does not appear in the Torah. But anyways, friends, the pasuk reads, this is Jacob blessing his sons, right? Again, it reads, Lo yasod shevet me Yehuda, the scepter should not depart from Judah, chokek mi beit raglav, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet. And then, ad ki yavo Shiloh, until tribute, right? Tribute from Shai, right? From Shiloh, shall come to him. And then it continues, Velo yikhat amim. And the homage, right, from yikacha, of the people, amim, shall be his, or shall be paid to him, right? So all this is basically saying is that Judah will be the ruler till he becomes full king and kingship or his kingship will last forever. Basically saying that from the tribe of Judah is from whom kings and rulers will be drawn from. This, my friends, is the Pashat. This is the literal meaning, and there is no running away from it. And how do we know that this is the only understanding of this pasuk that was understood before the destruction of the Second Temple? Well, it's easy, because what source did Jews have to claim that kingship was regulated only to the tribe of Judah? Remember, everything Israel did during and after the closing of the Torah had to stem from Torah. And as you know, there is no pasuk, there's no verse anywhere in Torah that they could have used to justify a notion that kings could only come from Judah. And not only just a king, we know that throughout Jewish history, the Nasi, the head of the Sanhedrin, also had to be from Shevet Yehuda. And also the exilarch, the head of the Jews in the exile, also had to be from Shevet Yehuda. Now, being that the pasuk references Judah ruling, one could then say that doesn't this itself mean that the pasuk is in some way messianic? Well, if you mean messianic because kings were mashach, they were anointed with oil, then yes. But referring to some future redeemer that we await for daily that's going to in some way bail us out, no. And that's pretty much it, friends. For more information on everything Jewish, friends, visit bejewish.org. And if you don't have a religion currently and you're looking for a deeper, a more meaningful relationship with the Creator, I also want to welcome you to consider converting to Judaism. And for more information about this, you can also go to bejewish.org. Thank you.